when I talk about the importance of every person, the value of every human being, right? I feel for those in the submersible right now. Unfortunately, it was designed poorly because, again, those inside have no way, absolutely no way to get out of that thing without external help, without unbolting it from the outside. So once you're sealed in there, you're sealed. If something happens, you're in trouble. But we knew all of that before it went under. We also knew that it was a commercial enterprise, a private company that decided that it could make some money by driving people down to the Titanic in this submersible and charging them $250,000 for the honor of seeing the Titanic. And you know, who the hell can afford $250,000 again? So this was a rich person's enterprise, right? This was a wealthy person enterprise. And what do we know about the wealthy, right? And again, this is not to disparage what has happened. I wish no ill will on anyone, any bad things happening to anyone. But when things like this occur, it gives us an inkling in how our society runs and what our society values and what we allow our society to value. Because I want you to ponder this. Before that thing went missing, or in the same time, hundreds of Pakistanis died in the Mediterranean. These were refugees. These were people in a boat trying to escape misery and go to someplace else. And the ship capsized and 300 people died. More are lost at sea in the middle of the Mediterranean. These people are floaters in the ocean, likely to be had by sharks and other thing, whatever we have in there. And it's a blip on the screen. A bad thing has happened in the Mediterranean, and there are people in the sea. This boat had several hundred people on it. 300 are dead, and more are dying as people that haven't been recovered in the sea, but that we know they're in the top of the sea somewhere, right? That's one story. The other story is a rich billionaire. Well, a billionaire, that's an oxymoron. A billionaire is now locked in a submersible that he voluntarily chose to go visit the Titanic on a vacation, a few hour vacation to see something the vast majority of humanity will not be able to see. It's a nice, cute thing, and you can afford it. A private company told this guy, sign away your life. In other words, let it be known that you could go down there and die. Let it be known that you could come back up injured. Let it be known that we're going to take you on this adventure, this pleasure trip. And if something happens to you, this private company says, if something happens to you, we are not responsible. You can't sue us, anything, because you could die on this trip, okay? And you said, no problem, I'll go down there. Now, you're lost. You cannot be found. Something did happen. Now, something did happen. And by the way, there were a lot of mishaps that happened before that we never knew with this particular thing. This stuff was unregulated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of things happen. And then it cannot be found. And the rest of the world goes into a panic, and they send millions of dollars of equipment and hundreds of people, C-130s flying, searching to see if that one submersible shows up. Millions of dollars used to find this one or these 5 people. Look, like I said, yesterday I brought this up on my 3:00 show, and two of the people listening said, it's not the time to talk about that. And I responded that our attention span is so many times so short that if we don't bring these systemic problems up during the instantiation of this systemic problem, when these things are actually occurring, we forget about it. We just forget about it and not see that we have to make these changes early on in the way we do things. So here we have the C-130s and several planes in the sky from Canada, France, the United States of America. Boats are there. They've shipped heavy equipment onto Newfoundland so that they can get it out to sea to find these folks. And, you know, it is like, yeah, we have to find these people. But where is that interest in those refugees in the middle of the Mediterranean? Where is that assistance? Where is putting that kind of money into the rest of humanity? Where is it? Is that asking too much that we care about our fellow man who, again, this rich person did it by choice. This rich person said, hey, I want an adventure. These Pakistanis and many folks coming also off of Libya and all these, they're coming, for them, moving from where they're at is existential. It is their life. So I bring this story up because I think we need to get our priorities right. Yesterday, I did a little TikTok on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play the TikTok that I did yesterday that I hope got some sort of coverage because, again, I was upset when I saw the amount of resources used for that one entity. This is what I went out and, I just made a little TikTok video. Check it out. Millions of dollars and hundreds of people are searching for a billionaire who paid north of $250,000 to OceanGate, a private company operating an experimental submersible for profit. My humanity demands that I wish that these people are found safely. But I also wish the effort governments, we the people who invest in the rich and multimillionaire and billionaires who try their best not to pay taxes that justify searches like this, I wish we would put the same zeal to solve the pain and suffering of others. Imagine if we considered the plight of the poor. Imagine if we considered the plight of the unhoused. Imagine if we considered the plight of the hungry with the same zest, with the same compassion. We must do better. Check out more like this at Politics Done. Yes, we must do better. Again, these are the same people who want to drop who want to cut their taxes, who don't want to participate in the commons, who don't see the reality that government is there for exactly these reasons. Now, let me just say this, right? I don't want the government to not do what it's doing for this submersible. I want my government, the governments of the world, doing exactly what it is doing for those people who are lost, those 5 people in that submersible. But I want our government collectively also helping those Pakistanis who are drowning in the Mediterranean. I want them to help those refugees who are escaping from lands that many a times we are partially responsible for the misery that they are living through. That's for another day, though, another subject as to why a lot of the migration that's occurring today is because of policies executed by the West. It's not just happening in a vacuum, but that's for another day. But I wanted to start again with this subject because, again, folks, as Van Beber stated earlier, with the piece that he brought, which brought me into talking about the simple proverb, I don't know if it's a proverb, you know what it is, that says, can we just treat others the way we would like to be treated and not make it be a function of our wealth? Our worth should not be a function of our wealth. But what the incident in the Mediterranean this week and the incident in the Atlantic with that sub this week shows is that currently our worth or wealth determines how others think about our worth. And that is something we should change. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.